systematic understanding how a living entity chooses between the Lord and three modes. And after that, he was explaining about the everything that functions in this creation is because of three modes. And then he explains how that uh, the desires are the cause of whatever is how the three modes are acting, because they don't act independently, they're acting because Lord is sanctioning. And why Lord is sanctioning? Because the living entities are desiring in that particular way. So that's how the reason is given. So we'll try to understand from here. And then further he says how the for yesterday's discussion we were talking about why we should not go to any other person because of this six symptoms of surrender, which are against the six instances of surrender, which are not favorable for us. And this type of emotions are very risky because rakshishyati iti utsvaso and atmanikshepa karpanyam, these two things we will not be able to do if you take help of any other personalities. So that's the main reason which we have discussed. So we have to always go with Sharanagati emotions. I should have Sharanagati for Krishna, but if I go to some other person, then that will hamper my Sharanagati. So that's the main reason which we are discussing yesterday about demigod worship. And interestingly, that was the same topic here also, despite the cultivation of Vedic knowledge, which is unlimited. The worship of different demigods by the symptoms of Vedic mantras, demigod worship does not help one to understand the supreme powerful personality of Godhead. So, kamastaisthairhritajnana prapadyante anya devata. So, here Krishna is very clearly indicating how people worship anya devata. So, which is a great hindrance in the practice of bhakti. We should not go for any demigods because, and Prabhupada is clearly telling those whose minds are distorted by material desires. Of course, Krishna is only telling in Bhagavad Gita. So, and follow the particular rules of worships according to their own nature. Most people are interested in demigod worship to acquire powers. So, but such material opulence, however, one cannot understand the supreme personality of Godhead. So, very clearly, this is indicated. And we will go further. When a person is fully engaged in devotional service, he is favored by the Lord, who bestows his causeless mercy. At such a time, the awakened devotee gives up all material activities and ritualistic performances mentioned in the Vedas. So, when a person is favored by the Lord and bestowed his mercy at that time, that means to give up material, this demigod worship also, we need some mercy of Lord. So, if he is fully engaged in devotional service, favored by the Lord, and he is mercy, he will become awakened devotee, gives up all material activities. This is very important that persons, why this is basically especially for people who are karmanishta. For them, not to give up is very difficult. So these people who are pious people, to become devotees, they need mercy of Lord only. Pious people need special mercy. So this is awakening is needed to come out of that ritualistic performances, because this is very tempting. So this is sukritotta anarthas. By performing sukruti also people get anarthas. And now we'll see what Prabhupada has to share. In the previous verse, those who are in knowledge have been described as unable to appreciate the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Similarly, in this verse indicate those who are followers of Vedic rituals. So in before that there were demigod worshippers. So they all cannot approach the Supreme Lord, as well as those who are followers of fruitive activities are unable to see the personality of Godhead. In these two verses, both karmis and gyanis are described as unfit to understand, as described by Srila Rupa Goswami. Only when one is completely free from mental speculation, fruitive activities, can one engage in pure devotional service. So this is a very important thing. Prabhupada is writing the significant word Atma Bhavita indicates that Lord is awakened in one's mind if one constantly think of him. Savaima Krishna Padarvinu. This constant thinking of Lord is described in Bhagavad Gita as Satata Yuktana Bhajatam Priti Purvakam. Even the Vedic ritualist ceremonies are considered material activity because such activity one is simply elevated to other planets. Yandideva Vrtadeva. So the word Atma Bhavita also indicates that a devotee is always engaged in preaching to deliver conditioned souls. Nana Shastra Vicharaneka Nipuno Sadharma Samstapako. So for every point, Prabhupada is quoting a shloka. The Supreme Personality God, influenced by the merciful devotees, attempt to deliver fallen souls, enlightens the people in general from within by his causeless mercy. So, as the devotee is blessed by another devotee, he becomes free from karma kanda and jnana activity. So, here Prabhupada is telling, Lord's mercy comes. Here it is said he should receive causeless mercy, and that causeless mercy comes from where? Blessed by another devotee, he becomes free from karma kanda and jnana kanda activities. So, Vedeshu Durlabham Adurlabham Atmaktu, very huge purport is Prabhupada writing. And he says Karma Kanda Durlabham Atma Bhaktaha. So the Lord is realized only by a sincere devotee. And this material world, the cosmic manifestation is created by Lord, and the living entity have come here to enjoy themselves. The Vedic instructions guide them according to different regulative principles, and intelligent people take advantage of these instructions. So Vedic instructions are good, but for what? To for a person who want to enjoy. Thus they enjoy material life without being disturbed. This is actually illusion. So even though it is Vedic, it is illusion only. This is what Prabhupada is writing here. You see, people instructions, Vedic instruction guide according to regulated principle. Intelligent person take advantage of these instructions. Thus, they enjoy material life without being disturbed. This is actually illusion. And to get out of this illusion by one's own endeavor is difficult. You see, this is very difficult to come out on our own. The general populace is engaged in material activity, and when people are a little advanced, they become attached to by the ritualistic ceremonies mentioned in the Vedas. However, when one is frustrated in the performance of these ritualist ceremonies, aim comes to material activity. So, in this way, the followers of Vedic rituals and followers of mental material activities are engaged in conditioned life. So now here now we have Vaikuntha Ekadasi coming and people are going to Vaikuntha Dwara. It won't work like as a ritual. It is a state of consciousness. So Guru Krishna Prasade Apai Bhakti Lata Beach. This is the people, these people to get seed of devotion service only by the goodwill of Guru and Krishna. So one has to become free from some designative activities. Sarvopadi Vinirmuktam. So huge purpose. Prabhupada is Rishikesh Sevana. He's just starting everything he's writing because this Vedic, why he has to tell all these things? Because this Vedic rituals, they're very attractive and people are so much into Vedic rituals. So Prabhupada has to very emphatically tell it won't work like that. The sincere devotee is always held by the super soul, who is residing within the heart. Tesham satadiktanam bhajatam pit purukam. This is the state of becoming free from contamination of material world. At such a time, devotee makes friends with another devotee, engage in material activities. The engagement in material activity ceases. At that time, he attains the favor of the Lord and loses faith in material activity. So only when we come in the association of devotees, and you see very clearly Prabhupada is writing. At that time, he attains favor of the Lord, does and loses his faith in material civilization, which begins with Varnashram Dharma. So even this is also material civilization only, Varnashram Dharma, very clear. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu clearly spoke clearly on this, and once becoming liberated from Varnashrama, we have to be free from Varnashrama also. The most exalted system of human civilization. At such a time, one feels himself to be perpetually the servant of Krishna, a position taken by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. Na Vipro na Janarpati, na Vaishya na Shudra, na ham Varnicha Garanpati, na Manastayitirva, Hindu Prokta Kunturpodhyan Nikala Paramananda Purnamrita Abdibir Gope Bharto Padakamalyor Dasa Dasanurasa. So, so many shlokas Prabhupada quoted, it's like a big lecture only. And I have cut some of the purport lines and I read. The other is a huge, very nice purport. And Prabhupada is very systematically developing the point. Is on different angles of view, Prabhupada explaining that. My dear King Barishma, you should never, out of ignorance, take to the Vedic rituals or to fruitive activities which may be pleasing to hear about or which may appear to be goal of self-interest. You should never take to these to be the ultimate goal of life. Tasmat kramashau bharhishman agnad artakashishu marta dhrishtam kritam stotra sprishvai aparstava vastusu. So he is because King Barhishmati, King Prachanibarshati is so much attached to rituals. That's why Narada is trying to emphasize. So basically, he told even knowledge also don't work. Now he's telling even karma don't work. So that is his point. Demigod worship don't work, karma don't work. And Prabhupada is writing in the purport. Yamimam pushpitam vacham brahvantya vishchita vedavadharata partha nanyatati vadinaha कामात्मानां स्वर्गपरां जन्म कर्म फलप्रदा क्रिये विशेष बहुला भोगेश्वरी गतिं प्रति. Is telling how these flowery words of Vedas should not get. Men of small intelligence are attached to the flowery words of Vedas. That's what is writing. Generally, people are very much attached to fruitive activities mentioned in the Vedas. So this is actually even now, if you see many of the traditional people who are following the sampradayas, Madhva Sampradaya, Si Sampradaya, they have this so much of ritualistic tendency. Of course, even in ISKCON, it will happen as the preaching goes bigger and bigger. Eventually, these symptoms will come. Karma, jnana symptoms will come automatically. So that is there because people take things as rituals. Now Dhanurmas is happening now. So people are doing Dhanurmas, but for most of the people it's like a ritual only. So why how can we say it's a ritual? Because other time of the year they don't do anything. Only this month they are very strict. They eat one time, they are waking up early morning and chanting prayers. Then what about other time of the year? You should be strict and follow the rules other time of the year, na? Why are you doing only this time? So we can chant whole year. Whole year you don't chant. Whole year you are not doing. See, we are doing Damodar month, but we whole year we are doing Damodar month extra we do. But here, that is the only thing they do. They don't do most of the time of the year. For them, okay, Lord is there. But this month they go every day to temple. No, other times also you should go every day to temple and do the services. So it's a ritual for them. And Kartik Mas also for many of them it becomes ritual. They only do in Kartik. Other time they don't do also. So that's what I'm telling. Any religion which it grows, so this we attract karma type people, karma shraddha people and jnana shraddha people also, and they will keep some of these aspects. So doing Govardhan Parikrama, they can do very ritualistically also. And doing Damodar month also, people can do a proper ritual and very grand ritual also they can do. So that is the point. We have to identify these tendencies within us also. They will be there because either jnana and karma tendencies are there in all of us. That is for sure. We have to, jnana and karma tendency basically is that we are expecting something in return all the time. The fruitive mentality is karma mentality. I do this, I should get this. I do this, I should get this. So some expectations we are having, that fruitive mentality is there. Otherwise we don't feel, if it is not there, we'll never feel unhappiness. If you are doing something and you are not getting also, will not mind, because there is no fruitive mentality. If I do this, I should get this. My son should get good mark. He should be the state topper. He should be this. He should be this. So we are expecting, but even if it is not happening, no, it's okay, fine. Krishna don't want it like that. Krishna want it in a different way. So if Krishna want in a different way, then why we should be unhappy? It's okay, fine. So we'll go with our life peacefully. Some little bit disappointment is there, but it is not so much bad. Like when Abhimanyu died, Arjuna was unhappy, but he just went on. So because he didn't had any Pluto mentality. But for us, na, that is always, Arey, I did a fighting. Why did I lose the battle? Krishna want it. That's all. And Jnana tendencies, I want to be free from pain. So that is always there. So these two tendencies will remain until we are like matra sparshastu kaunteya sitoshna sukha dukkada. So when we come out of the mental platform only, we can come out of it. So we have to always check these tendencies and try to go with the will of Lord. Then that is pure devotional service. Pure devotional service means what? Basically, we are telling yes to Lord. Yes to what? Yes to His desires, right? So this we have to know that the as the religious is growing, people take to the ritualistic part very seriously. Now Adhika Mas, proper time Adhika Mas, proper didn't much stress on it, but now it's a big huge affair. So many WhatsApp messages, videos, and for what to do, how to do, Bhishma Panchak, and this that, and so many people do so much research and give big classes on it. Why? Because that is the karma tendency is there for people, and they want to hear very religiously what all to be done very strictly. And Prabhupada did not much bother, like, no, can we take asafoetida, what is a hing on Ekadasi or not? Now, so it's a big question. For Prabhupada, that is not actually very important. What is important is to remember Krishna and to control our mind. So a little bit austerity helps us control our mind, and that's why we should do all these things. It's not because uh, whether we take or not. Yeah, by if we are in doubtful, then better leave it. Without that also, why we have this question to eat asafoetida ring on Ekadasi is because we are cooking. Ekadasi is fasting. So just take some fruits and be happy. So that is the point. If you want to make a big feast, then there is a problem. Ekadasi feasts. So no, Ekadasi, and then festivals also. Festivals is also for fasting. So what happened in ISKCON? uh, and for festivals, no, there was Abhishekam and Kirtan. So devotees used to call guest new people to the temple because new people are coming. You cannot just give Ekadasi or some fasting prasadam for them. You have to make a feast. So festivals they started making feast, and then it turned like festival means feast, but it is not like that. Festival is fasting. But because we are inviting new people, we are arranging a feast, and then everybody thought festival means we should also take feast. So this is how it turned out. And Arey, how can you not feed? Arey, that feast is for outsiders. For insiders, we should be simple. Take some charanamat and little prasadam and whole day chanting and hearing. Uh, See, I was also not knowing. I was also eating nicely feast. Now I'm understanding that that is not the way. The festivals are for remembering. Harivasa is remembering Lord. Ekadasi is for remembering Lord, not for feasting. So if you spend less time on cooking and eating, we get more time for Krishna. That's the main point there. So anyway, what I want to tell is that the rituals are slowly they creep up into the organization, and then now very religiously people do Damodar month. Consciousness, other time of the year, they don't know. And then same thing with jnana tendencies also. We have to be very careful in these mm, things that are happening. So now, any festivals that are coming, new things will join up now, and that is some people are in that inclination and they highlight it so much. So we have to at least be conscious about ourselves, how I am doing, because for us it's not about the activity; it's about the what consciousness we are doing activity. You have to know the difference very clearly. Otherwise, we will mess up things. So this is for sure. And so here Narada is telling the same thing, that generally people are very much attached to fruitive activities sanctioned in Vedic rituals. So when they come to bhakti, they are thinking the bhakti activity is also like fruitive activities, and that means I get something here. So this is the tendency. One may be very much attracted to becoming elevated to heavenly planets by performing great sacrifices like those of King Barishman. Narada wanted to stop Barishman from engaging in such fruitive activities. So now we may not go think of going to heavenly planets, because heavenly planets is like uh, it's a big that type of faith is not there for us. Presently, people they don't know much about heaven. Previous times it was there. Now people want to go to America and or other different planets within India only or within the world. They think that to achieve some countries here and there. Of course, devotees are not, but for outside people, I am telling. But it is not actually in Prabhupada writing, you see. Therefore, he is not directly telling him, don't be interested in such temporary benefits. In modern civilization, people are very much interested in exploiting the resources of material nature through the methods of science. Indeed, this is considered advancement. This is not actually advancement, however, but is simply pleasing to hear. Although we are advancing according to such concocted methods, we are forgetting our real purpose. Bhaktivinoda Thakur therefore says, Jada Vidya Yatha Mayara Vaibhava Tomara Bhajana Bhade. Materialistic studies are the glare of Maya only for they are an obstacles to spiritual progress. So, propagating the temporary comforts of life experience either on this planet. See, this is what the point. So, the temporary comforts of life experience either on this planet or other planets are all to be taken illusory, because they do not touch the real purpose of life. Actually, some places are conducive to practice. Especially for grahasthas, America is better place than India also for practicing bhakti. Why? Because here so many social obligations will be there in India. In the West, that is not there. That is a very very great advantage for brahmacharis. India is better. For grahasthas, America is better. Because here now people are so much into there is obligations you cannot avoid only. That is so difficult. So uh, so whatever is favorable to bhakti, we should do. Whichever place is favorable to bhakti, and we should not go behind this. What Prabhupada is telling, the illusory, temporary comforts of life. That's all. The real purpose of life is to go back home, back to Godhead. Ignorant of real purpose of life, people take to either gross materialistic activities or ritualistic activities. King Barishman is herein requested not to be attached to such activities. In the Vedas, it is stated that the performance of sacrifice is the actual purpose of life. A section of Indian population known as Arya Samaj laid too much stress on the sacrificial portions of the Vedas. This verse indicates, however, that such sacrifices are to be taken as illusory. Actually, the aim of human life should be God realization or Krishna consciousness. The Vedic performances are, of course, very glittering and pleasing to hear about, but they do not serve the real purpose of life. So this is what Narada is trying to give, and this is the whole section. This section of Bhagavatam is for this point, this purpose only, to help us come out of this karma mentality, which is uh, which is there in all of us. So those who are less intelligent accept the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies as all in all. They do not know that the purpose of Vedas is to understand one's own home where the Supreme Lord lives. Not being interested in the real home, they are illusioned and search after others' home. So Prabhupada is writing huge, huge purports to make us understand that don't be affected by the rituals and don't go to the karma mentality. And don't make bhakti also as a ritual. That is also the very important point for us. It won't work like that. What is the difference between ritual and bhakti? He is also doing Damodarashtakam. I am also doing Damodarashtakam. He is also doing Ekadasi. I am also doing Ekadasi. Madhvas also do Ekadasi. The main difference is one is the purpose behind it and the consciousness behind it. So that makes a difference. So rituals and spiritual. In ritual plus consciousness, then only it becomes spiritual. Otherwise, it will remain ritual. We have to put our consciousness. When people are doing arti, we are also doing arti. For them, one is it's a, they don't put any much consciousness, and second thing is they expect something in return. For us, we just want to please Krishna. That is why we are doing. Say if some guest comes to your house and we are serving, what the guest expects, that we consciously serve him. Like we are talking in a mobile and no, he's sitting, the guest is sitting in your hall, and you are talking on a phone, and no, you just go into kitchen, bring water and put in front of him and ask him how are you, and parallelly you are talking on a phone with somebody, and then you ask him, do you need anything to drink, and he says anything to eat, he says yes, then again you go make something, but you are parallelly talking to somebody on phone. How will that person feel? You are attending him, you are giving him water, you are giving him food, you are giving everything, but parallelly you are doing something else. You are not conscious. You may say, "Arey, I took care of guest very nicely," but the guest may also feel you gave very air conditioned room, you gave all facilities, you gave good food, quality food, hot food, everything. But still, consciousness is somewhere else. You are absorbed in something else. So it won't please the guest so much. Or when you are serving the guest, like sometime we bring some donors, big people to temple. We invite some rich people to temple. We are serving the rich people, but there is some back of mind. There is something that he should give some donation to temple. He should I have some project at the end of before he is leaving the temple. Then we will tell Prabhuji, see, we want to come up with new project. We want to construct a guest house. We want to do this, and then that person say, okay, okay, I'll try to help. Now, what was the purpose in serving that person? uh, we have intention to make him devotee, but more than that, we want to have donation also for him. You are understanding? I am not telling it is wrong, but there is a it is not pure motivation. But when it comes to when serving Krishna, he need consciousness also, he need motivation also, both. Then only it becomes pure devotional service. Otherwise, not. If we are having a ritualistic mentality and fruitive mentality, both will be damaging. So here we have to see the difference. They may also look similar. Now I was telling this example of Dhanurmas. Now people are doing or Damodar or so many new things will come. They are following Chaturmas or Bhishma Panchak and all. Whether I am doing it as a ritual or it's a pure devotional activities. So it's a very delicate thing to understand whether it because it will creep up in our consciousness also, and we may also end up being just ritualistic. And this whole canto is for that. Don't be ritualistic. So if you tell, I will ask like if King Barishmat is told, see you have to do Damodar month, you have to do Dhanurmas, you have to follow Chaturmas, and all are the rules. Will he follow? He will follow 10 times better. If you tell you have to do Aarti at 4 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning, and you have to chant 16 rounds, and then you have to offer this Aarti, and you have to do this, you have to take only Prasadam. He can do it very nicely for as many years as possible, but still it will remain ritualistic. Why? Because there is a motivation. There is something in return, the desire to get something in return. You're understanding? He can do much better activities of bhakti than us also, but still it is not bhakti because the motivation is not bhakti. And another thing is there is consciousness involvement. So these two things. What is consciousness? A favorable feeling is emotion that I was we were discussing yesterday, sharanagati emotions. Krishna should be happy with this, Krishna should be happy with this. And we are consciously trying to do it. Whether if say Maharaj is coming to your house and you are to serve him, how much conscious we are that okay, will Maharaj need hot water or cold water to drink? Maharaj needs what type of food? Maharaj needs you can cook anything and give, but when we are conscious, then we'll ask him, Maharaj, will you take no some spices or no spices, this that. We are conscious, and then and in return we don't want anything. What we want, Maharaj should be pleased. We are consciously doing and we want to please Maharaj. You're understanding the difference. So, but that won't happen when ritualistic people, when they are inviting, we have some gurus. If you want to invite them to your house, there is certain price. You pay some 10 lakh rupees, 20 lakh rupees, they'll come to your house. Now, this person is paying 20 lakh rupees to invite this sadhu to the house. I'm not talking ISKCON Guru, some other outside organization. Now, when they are doing, they are also doing the same thing. They want to please him and do something. But what is the motivation? Arey, I brought something, something good will happen to me. That's all. So I'm trying to tell the same point, but because it is so important before we end the canto, this should drive home this point that we should not end up being ritualistic. And I also have this tendency because it is in the blood only. We are from Sri Vaishnava background, and rituals are there. So I have this tendency, but it is favorable. Actually, rituals are very favorable. Who are having this ritualistic tendency, that will help them in bhakti so much. Why it will help? Because they will not leave the practice so easily. Once you tell them this is a standard, they will happily stick to it. What they have to do, they have to add consciousness and they have to change the motivation. That's all. Otherwise, rituals they will hold very nicely. So there is an advantage in that way. So here, Prabhupada writing, generally people are not aware of their interest in life to return home back to God. People do not know about their real home in the spiritual world. So, despite the so-called advancement of civilization, there is no information of Vaikuntha lokas. At the present moment, so-called advanced civilized men are trying to go to other planets, but again to this come back again to this planet. So, but they do not know even if they go to higher planet, they'll come back. So, Abrahma Bhura Loka Punaravritanachana. If one goes to higher planetary systems within this universe, he still have to return after the effect of pious activities are finished. Space vehicles may go very high in sky, but as soon as their fuel is finished, they have to return to earthly planet. All these activities are performed in illusion. The real attempt should now be to return home back to God. The process is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Yanti madhyadinopi ma. So, Prabhupada is writing that one should not waste in human form of life in vain. One should be intelligent. So, and Prabhupada writing, Kalor dosha nide rajan astireko mahan guna kirtana deva krishnasya tasanga pranvaji. So, we have to go to why Goloka Prabhupada is telling. One should be interested in information about spiritual planet and in particular the planet known as Goloka Vrindavana. So this is the formula Prabhupada is giving for us. And then Narada says, my dear king, the entire world is covered with the sharp points of Kushagras. And on the strength of this, you have become proud because you have killed various types of animals in sacrifice. Because of your foolishness, you do not know that devotional service is the only way one can please the Supreme Lord. You cannot understand this fact. Your only activity should be those that can please the personality of Godhead. Our education should be such that we can become elevated to Krishna consciousness. Even chanting also, initial stage we do as a ritual only, but that is good. At least do ritualistically chanting, but because chanting is a special potency, if we are just attentively, ritualistically, attentively doing also, will make change in the heart, and then eventually we will give up our karma jnana tendencies. So that holy name will take care. But only thing is, we should not commit offenses. That's all. And we just have to, okay, I have to do 16 notes. That is the advantage in India. Why in India, even the Christian missionaries, they are very much eager to spread Christianity. India is this is one of the main reasons. Why? Because what is happening in the West is Christianity, people are becoming atheistic. They are not following. Like even Prabhupada time also, he said he went to churches and most of the churches are empty. And devotees, they purchase churches and made into temples because people are not interested. Even now, Christmas only once in a year they will go to church, or for marriage they will go, or some death they will go. Otherwise, daily visiting temples, daily visiting churches, they don't do only. There is nothing like daily visiting churches. So they are very eager to give it to in India. In India, if you make a church, people do it very religiously. You'll find people going to temple every day. You don't need any reason to go to temple. They just say, "Let us go to temple." And here, because one advantage, people first they don't make gardens and parks of entertainment. First, they make temples. So they know if Indians take to Christianity, Christianity will survive. So that's why they are very eager, and they will keep rituals and they will do it in a much more ritualistic way. So Indian blood has that ritualistic tendencies. So when anything we give, it will survive. That's why you see Prabhupada, he preached in the West and he brought it to India. In the West, it could not survive much. Even in the West, somebody is taking to Krishna consciousness, they're all Indians only. So most of the preaching in the Western countries that is happening, by ISKCON is to Indians only because Indians have this in the blood. They're very ritualistic. They happily take it and they will hold it. They say why we should do, just we have to do. That's all, no questions. Going to temple every week, they will go sometime. They just they can do it very nicely. And in Islam, they have to do namaz 5 times in a day, and some people are very ritualistic. That is the karma tendency in the world is Islam, and jnana tendency is the Western world, Western civilization. So this religion, Islamic religion, it's more of karma, very orthodox, that type of karma tendency. And then this modern civilization, Western civilization of a jnana tendency. So there is always a fight between karma and jnana. So this we have to very clearly understand. Three modes na always they fight, and this is a fight. It's not the fight between Arabic nations and West that was previously. Now even Arabic nations are becoming materialistic, so they are having different fight. But there is a fight is it between the two nations and all. It's all between the modes only. That also we should understand. So the tendencies always compete with each other to overpower. Jnana will try to overpower karma, karma overpower jnana, like that. So we have to just understand the tendencies of people, and then we see, then we will not see that they are fighting. We always see that this is the competition between the modes. This is the next level of understanding we should have, that yes, this world is always in balanced state because the modes always compete. And when the modes are competing, there will be wars. So there will be people who are fighting because it's a fight between the taste. Arabic taste is fighting with materialistic taste, and Indian Vedic culture taste is fighting with Western taste. That's why all the people who are little orthodox, they are concerned. Oh, people are instead of chanting no some other, they are not celebrating the Indian New Years. In India now we have different types, different New Years in different states. They are celebrating Happy New Year and Merry Christmas and Santas and other things. So they are so much worried about it who are Orthodox because they are feeling that our taste is getting disturbed by this Western taste. Ours is better taste. So that's a fight. Why taste is from where? Taste is from the modes. If I am in Sattva, my taste is different. If I am Rajaguna, my taste is different. So there is always a fight, and we can never expect that it will be peaceful. Why? Because it is all the courtesy is because of Mahavishnu glancing this creation. When Mahavishnu glanced this creation, everything became imbalanced, and the modes started competing with each other, and different modes are forming, and this is whole world is created by modes, and they are competing. So there cannot be any balance here. It's always a competition. Okay, any questions, comments? Okay, I wish you happy new year. Of course, we still have few more days. We hopefully will complete this chapter by end of this year. I'm not sure. We have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I think we'll be able to complete. So today's Friday. So yeah, Monday, Tuesday we'll be able to complete. So thank you all very much. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.